Welcome back to another installment of Fellowship of the Rink, episode 84, brought to you as always by our incredible local friends at Waggle Golf. Everybody go to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 to take 10% off your entire order. But that's not all. We have some new friends here on Fellowship of the Rink. That's right, new sponsor alert. The great folks just across the street from the newly christened Grand Casino Arena, which is always going to feel weird to me. But we've got Zamboni's on 7th, incredible restaurant and bar, best for before, during, and after all of your Minnesota Wild festivities. We got a big show here today. We're going to kick it off with interviews after game one for the Gophers this weekend in their split with Michigan Tech. Then we've got just some quick Gopher notes and updates. Then we have a more extended sit down with Gopher Brodie Ziemer. Apologize ahead. We had to clip some of it out. It's a little bit shorter interview because we had some internet connectivity issues, but what we've got in here is still great stuff and solid quality. And then we're going to end it with, of course, your Minnesota Wild. We got to get into it. The season's here. The season's upon us. As you're listening to this, if you're listening right away, like the sickos you are, tomorrow you have one more sleep before Minnesota Wild hockey. We're all excited for it. Let's go. But first, we have our first resurfacing brought to you by our friends at Zamboni's. Zamboni's on 7th Restaurant and Bar at 174 West 7th Street, right across the street from Grand Casino Arena. We're going to keep calling it the X. More than just your go-to spot before, during, and after all your favorite downtown events, Zamboni's on 7th is now your spot for late-night downtown eats. On game days, event days, and plain old regular days, Tuesday through Saturday. Zamboni's on 7th is now serving their delicious tavern-style pizza, as well as fried specialties late into the night. Check out their menu online at zambonison7th.com or stop by for a few beers, cocktails, or sodas and dig in. Zamboni's on 7th, before, during, and after. Way after.
A ton of positives in there, and even the where we got ourselves in trouble tonight, the first thing coach goes to, is negatives. We would turn the puck over on two of the, freshmen, the first two turnovers, and then that's how they got up. But that has to happen. It's actually a good thing that it happens, and it's really good if you can win early in the season to do those, because that's how you learn. It's the only way you get better. But most important, right guys were making plays when we needed them. Great goal, to tie it up right away at the start of the third. They're going to be a good hockey team. It was a big win for us tonight. It was a big grow-up game for us.
What do you think the biggest positive was as a coach seeing that game?
I'm going to bore you with the answer. Every team in the country is going through this. You start a game and you got to clean things up. We don't get exhibition games, which you need in our sport. And especially playing so many young guys, that look like our older guys were great tonight. They've been in those battles. Our young guys, for the first time being in a battle, and we just kept throwing them over the boards. This is a grow-up game, and they're good hockey players, and they're gonna we hope get through that little tunnel quick.
You had a lot of players going to the net, a lot of pucks to the net, a lot of speed to the net. Was that kind of a big emphasis?
Oh, for sure, in spurts. We the other thing, I'll go back, how our teams are practicing really impressed our staff. That's what we saw in the third. They got relentless and they stayed on it. And they were physical, they're kind of up and and down the first 2 periods, kind of feeling their way through. And then once they just put the pedal down, I thought that was a big positive, because that's what we've been seeing.
Did you like Eric Paulson on that last draw? You know, everybody going to win the puck with the empty net.
Yeah, I mean, because there was one of our downfalls tonight. We got blasted in draws, but a couple big wins at the end. Johnny Middlestead had a big win. Tanner had a big win with some help from the forwards. We dodged a bullet on a lost draw right when they could have tied it before we got the second one. The goal put us up by 2. Where it bounced over the guy's stick. But that's a learning game.
I'm not sure Luke or Cal got enough ice time tonight, but what'd you think about their play?
They were great. I mean, they were. There was the veteran presence that you saw out there, and we lost Gruber right away early in the first, and big loss for us. And then the other 4, 2 didn't play a lot last year, and 2 were freshmen. We just kept throwing them over the boards, and they're going to have to, adapt quick.
Do we know what Leo's status is?
No, not yet. No.
Bob, your thoughts on LJ's play tonight?
Pretty dynamic when you see what he can do, and great assist, and it's what we've been watching in practice. And he's tremendous talent. The biggest thing is how he competes and works. That's such a gift and such a for athletes when they have that. It's gonna be fun.
It seemed like your D pairs all through the practices leading up to this game. You mixed up pairs all over the place. Does that pay off when you have a game like this where you lean on Cal and Luke so much?
Yes, and that, and we only got one right-handed shot, so we have to do that in practice for guys playing on their offside, and they're going to have to get comfortable. They're really comfortable now with Leo.
Senior captain Luke Middlestead.
Did you get enough ice time tonight?
Yeah, that was plenty. A lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun.
What was the most fun about it? I mean, big minutes, playing with all kinds of guys.
Yeah.
Game.
Playing with the guys, just so much energy in that building, and that response in the third was just so much fun. I'm truly blessed to be able to play here in this building. So.
What did you notice about the response in the third? Like, what was going well for your team as you took the lead back?
I think the most simple thing is just no blue line turnovers, getting the puck in, making their D turn, and break pucks out. Obviously, our forwards, all of them can skate, and nobody's going to want to break pucks out against us. And the sooner we learn that, the better. So yeah.
Obviously, Leo going down meant more ice time for you and Cal in particular. But what'd you think about the young guys stepping up?
They were good. They're so excited. Like, they're going to make mistakes tonight, and it happens. I think my first night in this building, I probably made 20 mistakes. So, you got to give them grace, and they're going to keep getting better and just calm down a little bit back there. So, it was fun to watch and fun to be back there with them.
Were you able to catch your breath enough to give them a little bit of wisdom during the game, or?
My main thing is just everyone keeps talking to each other out there. On the breakouts, letting them know wall and net, whatever the option is there, and that's just my biggest reminder. So I had enough breath to at least tell them that.
There are a lot of new voices out on the ice. How's that going, integrating all those guys?
It's good. I mean, like I said in my other media things, just the guys are so bought in. They work so hard and they're so dialed that it's easy to communicate with them and for them to communicate with us. So they've been dialed and it's been good.
How important has the leadership group that came back been to that buy-in for those young guys?
Honestly, it's more them than it is us. From day one, you could tell they had it in them, and every practice they brought the energy, and it's been fun, and we're really lucky to have those guys.
During that stretch where Michigan Tech kind of got a little momentum, what are the kind of details you really need to focus on and fix?
Yeah, I thought we were a lot of neutral zone mistakes, throwing the puck a little bit, maybe being too fancy at times too. So, just find the medium in there and smarten up. So it happens. There's ebbs and flows to the game. So yeah, but I loved our response. Absolutely loved it.
Any message from the coaching staff at the end of the game there?
kind of what I'm saying now is that response. I mean, college hockey, there's 0 easy wins, and every night's going to be a battle. So, yeah, like our response was unbelievable, and I had so much fun.
All right, thanks, Luke.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Questions for sophomore Brodie Ziemer?
One of the big question marks this year, who's going to do the goal scoring? You get 2. Does that kind of set your pace for the season now?
I mean, yeah, if I could score 2 goals every night, that would be ideal, right? But no, I mean, great game from everybody. Like, third period was a great battle back. You know, I mean, all lines were going tonight. Big goal from Pritch. I mean, it was everybody tonight. So,
What do you think the keys were to the goals? A lot of plays around the net, a lot of passes, a lot of drives to the net.
yeah, I think just playing with our speed. Honestly, like, we're a fast, skilled team. You know, I think if we get an odd man rush, like, we're probably going to burn you, you know, and so, yeah, it's just a good game from us tonight.
How much of a feeling out process is there to start the season with new line mates?
Yeah, I mean, like, there is, but at the same time, we've kind of been practicing together for the last month, you know, so, and they're great players, right? Like, LJ and Tanner are great, so, you know, it's pretty easy to get used to playing with them, and the way they play, they see the ice so well, they make my life super easy.
What kinds of things are you and Tanner and LJ talking about on the bench during the game as it goes on?
Yeah, I mean, especially for LJ, I think just like telling him that it's going to come, you know, like it is tough as a freshman, and you know, as good as he is, like it is hard, you know, and it might take a little bit of time, but you know, it's going to come to him. Like, he's a great player, and I guess like just us 3 talking about making plays, playing fast, playing hard, physical, things like that.
Any moments tonight where you're like, oh, this isn't practice anymore, we're playing real games?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like just skating out, you know, out of the tunnel, and the student section is buzzing. It's a packed game. Like, this atmosphere is unbelievable. You know, it'll never get old coming out and playing in front of this crowd.
Cal and Luke got quite a bit of ice time tonight. What was your impression of watching them out there tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, they're our leaders. You know, it's kind of from the, you know, it starts with the leaders, the back end. They did a great job tonight. They log a lot of minutes. It's big for us. You know, and they do a great job. They lead for the young D-men as well, kind of show them the ropes. And yeah, like I said, can't say enough good things about them.
What makes them tough to play against tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're skating. They're both great skaters. They're very poised as well. You know, on the breakout, like, they're not just throwing it up the wall. They're getting their heads up, maybe cut back, make a play. And they're physical, right? Like, Cal's a big kid. You know, he's not afraid to lay the body, and Luke gets physical as well. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Gopher Hockey. Listen, first weekend, you're going to be shaking off the cobwebs a little bit. A lot of new faces, a lot of guys that we've seen graduate to the NHL, some that we've already seen playing in the opening night, and some guys that have to be integrated into the lineup and figure out their way. All in all, you saw the great bright spots throughout the lineup. There's a lot of things to be excited about. I think this is a team that can put up points, even though, again, you look at the firepower we lost last year, guys like Jimmy Snuggerud, Oliver Moore. There's not really an easy way to replace what's been lost. If there's a way to do it, though, guys like LJ Mooney scoring his first collegiate goal with the Gophers this weekend. We got Tate Pritchard following suit. And of course, a fun one that we got to throw out there. Senior John Middlestat hits 100 career games with the Gophers. But man, you can see the opportunities, the creativity. It's going to take a second for things to gel and fit in the right place, but you can't help but be excited about the scoring possibilities. I also think the goaltending, again, think what you want about what you see on the score sheet. I think we're going to find our guy throughout this season. I think between the two of them, we've got something here. We also saw the opposite side of this, where blue line depth could be a concern. We've got great talent at the top. Like, no one is questioning Cal Thomas. No one is questioning Luke Middlestat. I think Jacob Rombach is going to shake out into being quite the player for us as well, but he's still going to have his bumps and bruises throughout. Leo Gruba being down is not good for anybody. kind of exposed us early, and I do think these guys stepped up. I think Whipple and McLaughlin played fine, but we need Leo Krupa back. And it sounds like he is not fully ruled out for this coming weekend. I wouldn't be shocked if they sit him out of precaution, but at least early indications are that this isn't going to be a long-term thing, but we got to wait and get official word on that from the team. I won't speculate too much further on that, but this coming week is the real test, right? We got a top 10 opponent, Boston College, a team that's in a very similar boat to the Gophers, if we're being completely honest. They lost some big boys up top. They lost their starting goalie. They lost two pieces of what was the perfection line in college, the Smith, Perreault, and Leonard. That has been entirely vanquished and now is handed off to, as you'll all hear, Brodie Ziemer's good buddies, the likes of James Haggins and Teddy Stiga. I think this weekend is going to tell us a lot. Want to see how the boys step up and play big-time hockey. Also got a chance to at least get the jitters out for a lot of first-time Gophers. I want to see what we can do here this weekend. I guess not even weekend. Thursday, Friday slate. Very weird. I'm still not fully on board with it, but it's going to work. But do check it out. I know some of you are going to be tuning into the first game for the Minnesota Wild on Thursday. It is a little bit earlier, so you can stagger a little bit. But again, you're not going to want to miss this. Tune in to both as best you can. Get multiple monitors going. Do whatever you have to do. I know plenty of you are sickos like myself, and we'll find a way. But without further ado, we're going to have to do another quick resurfacing before going over to Brodie Ziemer. Sundays are fun days at Zamboni's on 7th Restaurant and Bar at 174 West 7th Street in downtown St. Paul. They love hockey, they love St. Paul, and they love bingo. Their charitable gambling sponsors are St. Paul Capitals Youth Hockey, and they've partnered with them for Sunday bingo with great cash prizes, including a $1,000 coverall game. Take advantage of free street parking on Sundays and stop in for great food and drink, cash prizes, and of course, THC raffles during, and this is a mouthful, Zamboni's on 7th, Wake and Bake, and Smash Mouth Pizza Brunch Bingo Sundays. Come get it. All right, fresh off of the Gopher home opener this past weekend with Michigan Tech, we have Brodie Ziemer, sophomore with the Gophers, and I got to say, I thought that Vigo was onto something there when he asked you about just maintaining a 2-goal pace all year. What happened there, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to score every night in this league. That's kind of something I want to be better at this year, a little bit more consistency, having more impact on the game every single Friday, Saturday. So, looking back to get back onto that pace this weekend. So
perfect. That's a great answer. And obviously anyone knows that I'm joking because a 2-goal pace is pretty ridiculous, but curious, man, because we last chatted, I guess we caught up a little bit at World Junior Summer Showcase, but a little bit more of a sit down leading into the World Juniors last year when it was you, Ollie, and Woody that sat down with us. Talk to me about like where you're at now compared to then. Like what is an off season like after your first year of college, and what are the biggest things you're kind of looking forward to in this year?
Yeah, I think for me, like this off season was a ton of just getting stronger and faster, like working on my skating a ton too. I mean, I've been spending the last couple summers working on my skating, just trying to get like little bits and pieces, better. And yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just looking forward to hopefully having more of a role this year. Try to be someone that the guys can lean on and, just try to be a big player in big moments this year, more consistency like we talked about earlier. And I'm just excited. We got a lot of big games coming up, home and away. So just excited for this year.
For sure. And you hear different things, obviously, depending on the player, depending on the team. But in the summer, like Buffalo Sabres, after drafting you, are they more just like there for support? Like, do they actually reach out and say, hey, Brodie, like, here's the things we want to see you work on? Or what's the engagement like?
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously like player personnel that you kind of work like closer with, and they've watched you probably for like 2 years, give or take, before like drafting you, and so then they have a good idea of what you need, and a big thing that we talked about, even over just like last year, like during the season, was just like continuing to try to focus on getting stronger, faster, becoming a better skater. I think settling in, like I think this year, especially now that I have a whole year under my belt, like
Yeah.
knowing that I can make plays, I'm able to hold on to the puck a little bit longer and play a little bit more of a poised game, I think, for me.
For sure. And I mean, your game too. I say it all the time. I'm sure you haven't come across anything I've said, but it's just fun watching a player like you that has all that skill, but you can see it in games. There's a specific moment where all of a sudden a switch gets flipped and now you're like, I'm going to go hurt somebody. Right. Like, do you feel that in the game, or is that something that's just kind of like tucked back and you just kind of let the emotions roll as they roll?
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm going to be honest, I am kind of an emotional player, right? Like, that's kind of how I play the game, and that's something that I like about myself. And I mean, yeah, I mean, physicality is a big piece of my game, and whether it's the first period, first shift, or if I just try to jumpstart the boys, like I'm willing to go to the dirty areas. I'm willing to hit someone, and I mean that's just part of my game. So
For sure. And getting into this season now, obviously a lot of new faces, like plenty of guys left, plenty of fun guys that have jumped into the fold. Do you guys have an idea? Like, is the team kind of open and connected with who thinks they're leaving after a season, or are you guys figuring out when we do?
yeah, honestly, it's so hard to tell, right? Like it's all dependent on what that player needs and what their team needs, and so yeah, I mean it's hard to tell. Obviously, like if you got a Jimmy Snuggerud and he's it's his third year in college, doing the numbers that he's doing, like you have an idea that he's probably going to move on, right? But you never really know.
Sure, that's fair. And the guys coming in now, like, what's the process like bringing them into the fold? Like, whether that's happening over the off season, or is it something that you kind of just hit campus and roll from there?
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of both, right? Like a good amount of this team, and I mean it's from Minnesota, right? So a lot of the guys were here, working out in the summer and getting ready, like that stuff. And yeah, I mean right now it's just continuing to help them, figure out the systems and stuff like that, and penalty kill, and obviously they're going back to school and stuff, college classes. So I mean, just helping them out wherever they need it, and being here for them. I know I was the same way last year, and the older guys did a great job for me. So just trying to be a leader, trying to be there for them. When they need it. It's hard. The first year is always hard. As much as I wish it could be easy, it's not. And so just being there for them.
For sure. And before we get into the games kicking off this year, I got to ask, I'm sure you noticed here, a little nerdy tie with our podcast name to Lord of the Rings. Any nerd itch or anything that you're into outside of hockey?
Well, I mean, like shows, we've been watching a ton of shows lately. I live in a hockey house with the Henderson, Falloon, Graham Harrison, and Whipple. So we watched a lot of Riverdale. We started Harry Potter, which I'm into Harry Potter. Harry Potter's sick. Um, and then we're on Stranger Things right now. So we're kind of just bouncing all over. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we like to do. Just relax, watch some TV with the boys, hang out.
Nice. So, sorting hat, which house are you going to end up in?
It's kind of hard to not go Gryffindor, but I guess it's up to the hat, so we'll see.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. You didn't have an answer for me at the time because you didn't want to watch on your phone, but Happy Gilmore 2. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, honestly. Like the Maxi League, I don't know, questionable, but like, I mean, it's Adam Sandler, can't really go wrong. Great movie. It's got its good tributes to Happy Gilmore 1, so I liked it.
That's fair. Yeah, it's one of those movies that like I don't want to recommend to people, but I don't want to steer them away. Like there's really good parts. There's
Yeah,
there's the parts that we just won't talk about, right?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So talk about Michigan Tech. Like obviously, first weekend for anyone is going to be a little bit of a feel it out, get back into the groove of actual game speed and getting used to your line mates. Just overall, like what did you think about the effort from the team this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think the effort was there. Like even that Saturday night game, I think the effort was there. Like we had the right intentions. Friday night was great. Right? Like we it was kind of up and down, and then third period was unbelievable. And then Friday we started. Or I mean Saturday, sorry, started good. First period was good. And then we kind of just like lost our mojo, and we did battle, but just wasn't enough. Wasn't good enough. So I think it's a really right flush it, learn from it, and then just move on to this weekend, right? Like it's a good hockey team coming to our rink again. It's a quick turnaround, and it's going to be a good test. So I think we watch video, we learn from our loss, and we get better this week, and then we're ready to go.
All right, so that takes us to this upcoming weekend. Weird Thursday, Friday slate, but a fun one. Just generally speaking, what is it like to play these games with other, top 10 schools perennially, but ones that you're not seeing every year? This interview is brought to you by our friends at Waggle Golf. Waggle Golf believes what you wear on the course should reflect your individuality, who you are, where you're from, your hobbies, interests, and passions. All the stuff that makes you, well, you. That's why every design is inspired by the desire to create a piece of apparel that strikes a chord when you see it, that makes you say, wow, that was made for me. Because in a lot of ways, it was. Ready to get your waggle on? Go to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 at checkout to take 10% off your entire order.
Yeah, it's super cool, honestly. Like, I think that's the good part about the non-conference stuff. Like, you kind of get to go out of your comfort zone a little bit, play different teams than you're used to, and I mean, like BC is going to be fun. There's a lot of guys that I played with on that team, like a couple of my best buddies. So, super excited to get them into our barn. I know that they've heard a lot about Mariucci. They've never really played in it in a sold out rink, like that here. So. I'm fired up for them to see it. I'm fired up to play them.
Yeah, when you mentioned the rink there, it was very funny this summer at World Juniors, like seeing like the Canadian team walk in and just look up, be like, whoa, this is different. Like, does it feel that way to you guys still? Like, how long does it take to get used to just the aura of Mariucci and the incredible crowd that you always have there backing you?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even like describe it to people, to be honest. Like, you have to like either play in the game or like be at the game to really experience it. Like, people try to argue about the best rink in college hockey, and it's like you try to argue with me about it, like I'm not even gonna like listen to you. It's like it's insane. The fan base that we have, you come out for warm ups and they're just going nuts, right? And like, I mean, both nights the crowd was unbelievable. Friday night, like we score that tying goal, we score that go-ahead goal, and the place is just going crazy, right? Like I can barely hear myself. Like that's kind of the advantage that we have playing at home. The fans are so great here, and I mean, there's just so much energy. Like I said, I'm an emotional player. When I hit someone or make a play and then they're going crazy, like it just gives me even more energy and motivation to go back out there and do it again. So
for sure. And so, tell me about your boys, Hagens and Stiga. What's the scouting report on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, they're skilled, right? They're fast. They play hard. Yeah, I mean, good guys. Some of my best buddies. Like can't say enough good stuff about them. Played with them for a year and a half or whatever it was. Played with them at World Juniors. Like, great buddies. Can't wait to see them. Not only like on the ice, but off the ice. Catch up a little bit, and then go out and compete with them. I know they're excited to come compete as well. There's always bragging rights going into this when you play each other. So, super excited.
And obviously, going to be a crazy time hosting World Juniors here in Minnesota this year. I'm always curious, like when you play an intense series like you're going to at these guys this week, and then presumably like everyone's looking and hoping that that's the line, you, Hagens, and Stiga. Like, how hard is it to erase any bad blood that might be built this week and then be ready to go for World Junior?
Yeah, I don't think there could ever be bad blood between me and those guys. I've went to practice with them for 2 years, like every single day. Went to battle with them. Two of my line mates, I got into countless scrums with them. Never will be bad blood between me and those guys. Like, love them with my heart. Some of my best buddies. We can battle out on the ice, and chirps might fly, especially from those two. They like to talk, but once we get off the ice, it's like I said, no bad blood.
What about you, just in general? Are you much of a talker out on the ice?
I mean, not really. I mean, I just kind of go out there and play my game, and when I played with those two, like, they do all the talking, right? So I could just kind of go out there and play and wouldn't have to really worry about it. But no, I mean, I try not to feed into stuff. Just play my game, go out there, keep quiet, try to score, let that do the talking. So
that's fair. So who are the talkers on the Gopher squad?
That's kind of a hard question because, like, I honestly don't hear like that much chirp sometimes. Like, I know John Whipple is good. Like, he's a good chirper. I feel like he can get into it. He's got some good ones. I feel like Luke Middlestat's got some good ones too. It's like, it's never really like that serious of stuff, but it's just kind of like makes you laugh a little bit. And I think it catches the other guys off guard sometimes. But I mean, not much, I don't know. I think it's just like sometimes it's good to just let your play do the talking. And I feel like we do that sometimes. So
we got BC coming up this weekend, and we have to talk about now the return of the North Dakota series, which, like, obviously you're ingrained in that just being a fan growing up, but how much do those series mean to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, just coming to college hockey, like, I mean, every series means so much already, like, especially Big Ten play. Like, you play Wisconsin at home or like Michigan, like every series means so much, but like now being able to like go there and play there, like with how much history there is between the two teams, like this is what you dream of playing in, right? Like, you dream of playing in these games. You dream of scoring a big goal in these games and getting booed, or you dream of, everybody cheering for you. Like, I can't wait to play in it. It means so much to this group, but obviously got a huge test ahead, this week. Can't jump too far ahead, and one game at a time. But yeah, can't wait for that one.
One game at a time for sure. Well, last question that we ask everybody, and I know we asked a version of this to you and Woody, kind of compiling together when we did the World Junior sit down, but gonna give it to you again. Final question, brought to you as always by our good friends at Waggle Golf. First, make sure you head over to getyourwaggleon.com, throw in promo code SP10 to take 10% off your entire order. Brodie, give me 3 names. I don't care if it's athletes. I don't care if it's a celebrity, dead or alive, fictional. You can pick Harry Potter if you want. Give me 3 people it'd be fun to go out for a full day on the course with.
Yeah. I'll go Scotty Scheffler first. Then I'll go Alex Ovechkin. I think I might have said that last time we talked too, but I'll go with him. And then for the last spot, I'll go with let's go Bryson DeChambeau. How about?
Okay. I like that. Yeah, when we asked Faber out at the alumni golf event, he said he just wants Scotty Scheffler against him and 3 of his buddies, and he just wants to see if they can even come close in a scramble against him.
Mm-hmm. That would be fun. Yeah, I would be in for that too.
Losers in prison overnight, a la Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Well, hey, really appreciate the time, Brodie. Good luck this weekend, but really with the rest of the season. And of course, I think we're all very, very excited to see what happens with World Juniors here, but really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, final resurfacing before we get into Minnesota Wild talk. Zamboni's on 7th restaurant and bar right across the street from Grand Casino Arena, RIP in Peace XL Energy Center, at 174 West 7th Street in downtown St. Paul. You'll find a joke at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Enjoy happy hour food and drink specials when you stop in for the shows. Or if you've got something to say and enjoy stepping into the spotlight, go to zambonison7th.com and sign up to join the show. Spots fill up fast, and they do cap the number of comedians each week, so do not delay. Also, stay tuned for details on their once-a-month Friday night comedy show, Freaky Funny Fridays, beginning Friday, November 21st, featuring some of the hottest comedians in the Twin Cities. Zamboni's on 7th is a joke, but only on Wednesday evenings. And the occasional Friday. All right, Joe, it's finally here. Christmas in October. We have the kickoff of the NHL season. Everyone is going to be celebrating together on Tuesday, but Minnesota Wild fans, Thursday, we open the season with the St. Louis Blues on the road and your home opener here on Saturday. Joe, how excited are we?
Very excited. I mean, look, it felt like a long summer, didn't it? Just everything was going on and not a lot of fireworks with the Wild free agency wise. I think everyone's kind of just excited to get going. And I think they had their Christmas in September, October, the Wild did, when signing Kaprizov and Gustafsson to their 2 long-term extensions. So those are two big pieces of business that they had got through and locking up some of their core long-term. But it's, there's a lot of good vibes going on in Wild camp coming off of last year and the so close first round exit with Vegas. And, if this team stays healthy, which they were the first half of last year, they showed they could play up there with them in the Western Conference. So that'll be the big question for me going into the season is can they get off that strong start they did last year that really kind of propelled them and kind of allowed them to kind of hold water until the end of the year when they made the playoffs in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, it feels like health is the question every year for this team. So everyone just fingers crossed throughout the season for that. You mentioned, though, the Gustafsson contract. That's news for everybody. And you look at the comps over the past year, like in my mind, this is a pretty favorable contract that he just signed. But I shared that when Russo made the initial post for the news and said that it was Bill Guerin masterclass. And he immediately corrected me. He's like, Guerin will be the first one to tell you that this is Matt Sells masterclass. So talk to me about just how this all came together.
Yeah, he was right. Matt Sells, assistant GM. He was like the analytics, guru before, and kind of does a little bit of everything in the front office. He's kind of their chief negotiator in a lot of ways, and he was the one who handled this contract. And give him and Gus credit, right? Like, I think the Wild, wanted to stay at 7 or under, and he kind of held firm at that. And I'm sure Gustafsson or his agent could have pushed for more, but I think Gustafsson is the kind of guy, very laid back, very humble, very prideful, but he also wants to stay. He loves it in Minnesota. His family likes it. He's a really good fit, vibe and culture wise with the team. So he's like, they gave him his first real shot, right? He was on, this is his 3rd team he's on, right? And I think he said his first contract he signed in pro or something in Sweden was $2,000 a month. So this is a big boost for that. So, but definitely a tiny bit of business to get to $6.8 million. We had in our preview story or early in camp when we projected the contract around 6.76. So we were pretty close based upon the Aiden Hill comparison, where he was and with wins and his numbers. So it'll age well, I think, over 5 years. And it'll bring up another conversation later on, which is, Jesper Wallstedt, the longtime goalie of the future, now knows what Gustafsson signed long term. It's not illegal to have 2 good goalies. So if Jesper pops this year too, like that's a good problem to have, right? But the contract the way it is and where Jesper has 2-year contract here, they're in a good position in that, which I think a lot of teams would love to have.
Yeah, the fan reaction has been a little crazy. Just like, oh, so does this mean Jesper Wallstedt sucks? Like, no, this doesn't. You can have 2 good goalies. And like we've seen with Gus and so many other goalies, you're not gonna hit your peak as a goalie until like mid to late 20s more often than not, unless you're the outlier of outliers like a Fleury or a Price, right?
Yeah, and I think, this will give, Gus can go out there and just play this year, not to worry about anything else. And if he follows up from last year, the Wild will be in good shape. And Jesper, this is a big bounce back year for him. I think his head's in the right place. I think he's feeling good. He's in a good position. He knows where he's going to be now. He knows where he's going to be in the next couple of years with Gustafsson's contract. But I think there's a chance for him to maybe, a little motivation here, right? Like, he's a prideful player too. He's been the best in his age group for a long time in his career. So I think this will be a good little fire under him, right? And I think he'll be taking every start. It's so important, and they need him. He'll make 25 starts this year, probably 25 starts. So the Wild don't get where they want to go if they don't have a backup who is healthy and strong. And I think Jesper is going to have a really good start this year.
Yeah, and a big part of it for him too is just getting a reset, because last year everything that could have went wrong for him did, between the confusion with the three-headed goalie, between the injury, between just not being in the best situation in Iowa either. How do we feel this year, just taking a step back? Iowa's going to be different. We got different coach. We've got, it seems like a little bit more high-end youth injected in. Do we expect to see major changes?
Major changes with Jesper or the lineup?
No, sorry. Kind of flip into the Iowa Wild quick, because like we saw the news that, Hunter Haight, no fault of his own. I don't know. Do you feel like if there was a roster spot open, that's a guy that is ready for NHL hockey?
I think he is, and I think he'll be the first call up. And I think this will be, I think Liam Ogren is going to have a chance to show himself, but I don't think the leash is going to be very long. So I think Liam, who had a kind of an underwhelming preseason, will get more chances here on the roster. Maybe when the lights come on, he'll, be able to kind of produce and everything like that. But I think, if all of a sudden if things aren't working or it's not clicking, then they'll call Hunter Haight up. So, and I think, a lot of it's kind of a roster management too. Like Hinostroza had to go through waivers. You have him as a 13th forward. If you really want to have 13th forward, better have a guy who's a veteran guy who can handle that, versus Hunter Haight needs to play regardless of where he is. And he had such a great year last year, his first year pro, such a good momentum. He had a great attitude in camp. So nothing he did wrong in this process. It's just more so of that roster management. And also like, hey, let's give Liam a shot. Like, he's a guy they believe in a lot as well. So see how he does the first part of the season, give him a chance to maybe relax a little bit. He made the team, see how I can play in the NHL. And then if he doesn't do as well or is kind of slow out of the gates, then you can just flip him and Haight right there. So I think Hunter Haight's going to be in the NHL this year at some point.
Yeah, I think we're all waiting for it. And I mean, you got guys like him and Lambos both sent down to Iowa. We've got new guys being thrown in like Kumpalainen, Haight. We've got the new coach in Cronin. Like, we gotta, this has to be the year that they turn the leaf. And I'm not saying they're going to go out and win a championship, but come out and be competitive and give a positive boost to every player's development.
They need to be playing meaningful hockey in March and April. They need to be playing playoff hockey then. And I think, Greg Cronin came in. He's a lot of experience, a lot more experience than their previous coach, Brett McLean, both at AHL and NHL level. He's a very demanding coach. He's a guy who holds the guys accountable. And so I think perhaps he can bring an identity to that team. He'll have an influx of talent there. You mentioned Riley Haight. He'll have his first chance to play pro hockey. Kumpalainen, who's had a really good last couple of years. So you're going to have some guys there that can play. It's just a matter of like, they need a little bit of a culture boost or a confidence boost there, because a lot of these guys haven't played in some playoffs in a little while. So that'll be very interesting to see, because they have some of the Wild's good prospects there and they need to continue to develop.
For sure. And by the time this episode drops, you'll be foot on the ground in St. Louis, ready for the opener. What are you looking to the most? Like, what are the things now that the roster is all settled? We know the group. What are the questions that you want to see answered there the first couple games of the season?
Well, a couple of them. One is kind of the second line, Tarasenko and Eck, and right now maybe who knows if it's Johansson or it's Ogren or Urov. Like, there wasn't really much you saw from them in the preseason, and that the top line is going to be really good with Rossi and Boldy and Kaprizov. They're so dynamic and they're going to produce, and so I think you're looking a little bit more from that second line chemistry wise, see if they can do something, because at some point they have like 6 of the first 8 games on the road. get the top D matchup against that top line, like the other line doesn't produce, then all of a sudden you have to consider breaking up Kaprizov and Brodie. So I'll be looking a lot for that secondary scoring. I think Foligno and Hartman had a really good camps, and that third line will be really solid. And the fourth line, if Nico Sturm remains healthy with Trenton, who's came in tremendous shape, they should be a factor. So I think that'll be what I'm looking for. The young guys too. I want to see the young guys when the lights come on. Year off, steady progression in camp. Not really have much of a wow factor about how does he adjust. Ogren, talked to him the other day, and he said he just needs to relax and be able to produce and find a way because he's kind of gripping it right now. And you're checking the third pair because we don't think Brodie will be ready yet. So how will the Bogosian Juracek pairing look on that third pair? How will it kind of play out? So I think the young guys plus that second line are two things for me that I'm looking for of saying, okay, this will have to determine a lot more of their path going forward, either with switching lineups up or call ups or whatnot.
Yeah, and for that third pairing, like, is that fairly cemented at this point that they're going to start with Juracek and Bogosian, or is there still some discussion there?
Yeah, it's tough because, like, I think in camp it's been pretty, Middleton, Faber, Spurgeon, Zeev, who's looked tremendous the last couple of preseason games, and Bogosian Juracek. Now that'll change when Brodin is back. We don't know when that'll be, but we thought they might be the start of the season, maybe not now. So I think those will be the pairings at least. I believe to start the season, and then once Brodin back, they can kind of switch things up. And I don't know what you do there. I think if Zeev takes off with Spurgeon, maybe keep them together, and then you have Brodin and Bogosian, or I don't know how they want to do it, but I think they need to find a way. Or you could have Middleton with Bogosian, and then do Spurgeon, Brodin with Faber, and then Spurgeon with Zeev, and then do Middleton and Bogosian. That'd be a really good top six. So, or Juracek if he's played better. So I think that'll be what I think going into the season it'll look like.
Okay, and hard to get too much out of preseason, but just special teams in general. Like, how do we feel coming in? Like, obviously, Zeev Williams is going to be the big question mark for the power play. Penalty kill, like, have you been able to get much semblance of how much things have changed, if at all?
There's just some subtle tweaks to the system, nothing much that's going to be probably easily to be gleaned from fans. But I think what stands out to me, a little bit of aggressiveness, and also the fact that Rossi and Boldy are so good together. Adding some of those kind of offensive players to the penalty kill, they have really good instincts. Boldy was terrific last year in the PK, so I think that'll help them a little bit there too. Then you have Foligno at ACK, and then we didn't really see much of Sturm because he was hurt most of training camp, but he's a really good penalty killer and face-off guy. I think you'll have him take a lot of the D zone draws in a lot of places, both 5-on-5 and on PK. So that was the main problem. I think to me, a lot of it was the penalty kill, is the face-offs and starting your shift in your own zone most of the time. So we haven't really seen fully how it'll look because of the personnel, but I think the additions of a Boldy and Rossi to that PK will give it a boost. I think, Faber being better in the PK than he was last year will be a big boost. And then the goaltending is your best penalty killer, right? And if Gustafsson is what he's capable of being, then they should naturally get a boost from where they've been the last couple of years, which is the bottom of the standings there.
We can only hope that the things you can assure yourself is that fans will complain about no move clauses and about special teams. But it's here. I don't care. I'm just excited. Blanket statement, but a lot that I'm sure going to be able to glean from this opening against the Blues, the home opener on Saturday. It's just a great time to be a hockey fan.
Absolutely. It's if you're a fan of any team, like, it's just exciting to see like the matchup, the Rangers versus Penguins opening night, like the Sullivan Bowl, like other things like that. It's going to be see the Panthers without Barkov now and Marchand, and at least they're not playing the Lightning again. It'll be like a bloodbath there. So yeah, like it's just exciting to get the season started, ready to play it for real, and then it'll fly by. But looking forward to covering it, and Russo and I Athletic will be all over it, and I have the long road trip to start the year, so I will be packing my suitcase the first month for quite a bit. So I will be catching you remotely somewhere.
That's right. Well, all of you enjoy this greatest of weeks to kick off the season. We'll get back to you on what we see next week. That's a wrap for this week. Thank you all again for tuning in. As you continue to do, the numbers keep growing. We really appreciate your support. Anyone that hasn't already, or for the first-time viewers, do please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts and check out our YouTube channel, The SOTA Pod. This is a place where you can get full episodes, you can get isolated interviews, you can get clips, you can even get highlight reels, and really so much more. We do have some exciting interviews coming up for you guys here as well in the coming weeks. We've already banked 2 fun NHL players. We've got more that are definitely in line to be done, but yet to be recorded. So do tune in each and every week as you do. Really appreciate the support. Go Wild. Hockey is back. Everyone should be happy. Stay classy, State of Hockey.